When the system crumbles and shelves go bare, it's not gold or ammo that'll spark chaos, it's the dirt cheap, everyday items you've ignored 100 times. The kind of stuff you walk past in the store without a second thought. But after an economic collapse, that $3 item becomes a reason to shove, shout, and maybe even throw punches. It's not the flashy survival gear that'll cause fights, it's the simple overlooked basics that suddenly become priceless. Today we're breaking down 7 of those products you'll wish you stocked up on before the panic set in. And hey, if you've got your own must-have item, drop it in the comments. Knowledge is power, and sharing it might just save someone's skin. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button. Stay ahead of the chaos because being prepared beats being desperate. Let's get into it. 1. Gallon-size water containers with caps. When clean water becomes scarce, everything else falls apart. It's not just the bottled water that vanishes first. It's the empty containers people need to store and transport it. Gallon-sized jugs with tight-sealing caps, the kind you've probably ignored countless times, suddenly become a lifeline in a full-blown collapse. Here's the reality. Once your stored water runs out, you'll need to collect more. Whether it's from rain, a nearby stream, or emergency aid trucks, you can't do much without safe, sealable containers. FEMA has repeatedly emphasized the importance of clean water storage, not just for collecting water, but for keeping it uncontaminated. Yet most people focus on hoarding bottled water and completely overlook the containers themselves. During Hurricane Harvey, thousands of people lined up for water deliveries, but many had nothing safe to store it in. Some resorted to using trash cans or old detergent bottles, both unsafe and prone to leaks and bacterial growth. The smart one, they showed up with clean, dry gallon jugs ready to fill. By then, stores had already sold out of them. These containers are lightweight, stackable, and versatile. You can fill them with tap water before an outage, use them to transport water during the aftermath, or even freeze them ahead of time to keep your fridge cold during blackouts. They're cheap, but their value skyrockets when the shelves are empty. When desperation sets in, people don't just fight over water, they fight over the ability to store and ration it. A flat of food-grade gallon jugs can mean the difference between survival and standing in line, hoping someone else brought extras. Don't wait for the chaos. Stock up now, label them for clean water use, and keep them sealed. Because when the taps run dry, the person with containers has options. The person without, they're just out of luck. 2. Bulk hand pump soap dispensers. In any crisis, dirty hands can be deadly. After floods, earthquakes, or blackouts, it's not just the lack of food or water that spreads disease. It's poor hygiene, and when routines break down, one of the most overlooked survival tools becomes a hot commodity: bulk hand pump soap dispensers. We're not talking about fancy scented bottles. These are the cheap, clear plastic pumps you can buy in bulk or refill from large soap jugs. In normal times, they're an afterthought, but when disaster strikes, they become essential for maintaining hygiene in homes, shelters, and shared space. FEMA and the Red Cross stress hand washing as one of the most effective ways to prevent disease outbreaks during emergencies. After Hurricane Katrina, shelters faced outbreaks of norovirus and respiratory infections, largely due to inadequate soap supplies and no proper dispenser. Makeshift hand washing stations were rigged with buckets and bars of soap, but they were far from ideal. Here's the problem: bar soaps get grimy and spread germs. Open tubs of liquid soap, a breeding ground for bacteria. But a simple pump dispenser controls waste, limits contamination, and keeps things clean. It's a small tool with a massive impact. When panic sets in, people rush to hoard sanitizer and wipes, forgetting that soap and water are still the most effective defense. By the time they realize it, the cleaning aisles are stripped bare, and the dispensers are gone. Smart prepping means thinking ahead. Stock up on a few empty dispensers or pre-filled multi-packs. Keep one in your bathroom, one in your go bag, and a few sealed for emergency. They're lightweight, reusable, and endlessly refillable. In a crisis, clean hands aren't just about comfort, they're about survival. And the person with a working pump bottle, they're the one everyone else wishes they were. 3. Emergency sealing tape. When disaster strikes, it's not always the big things that fail first, it's the small ones. Cracks in windows, loose vents, and drafty doors can turn a bad situation into a dangerous one. That's where emergency sealing tape comes in. Unlike regular duct tape, this stuff is designed to resist water, heat, and air pressure, making it a critical tool for sealing your home against the elements. During the 2021 Texas freeze, millions of homes lost power, leaving people scrambling to stay warm. Towels and cardboard were stuffed into gaps, but those who had foil or vapor barrier tape had a significant advantage. They used it to seal windows, reinforce plastic sheeting, and trap warm air inside. In a survival situation, that's not just about comfort, it's about staying alive. FEMA doesn't always name this tape specifically, but their guides emphasize the importance of sealing air leaks, controlling moisture, and patching structural gaps. A single roll can do a lot. Seal off broken windows, line a roof crack, reinforce a tarp, or even patch a water tank. In post-disaster zones like Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria, people used it to secure food containers, reseal emergency rations, and even repair water tanks. The problem? Hardware stores don't stock much of it. It's not trendy, and it's pricier than regular duct tape. But when the cold is creeping in and only a few rolls are left, desperate shoppers will grab them fast, sometimes right out of someone else's cart. Don't wait for that moment. Add a few rolls to your prep kit now. Keep one in your tool bin, another in your go bag, and label them for emergency use. Because when the chaos hits, this isn't just tape, it's your first line of defense against the elements. 4. Unprinted canvas drop cloths. Most people walk past canvas drop cloths in the hardware store without a second thought. They're just for painting, right? Wrong. In a collapse, these unassuming sheets of canvas become one of the most versatile and fought-over items you can own. Unlike plastic tarps, which rip easily and make noise, canvas is durable, breathable, and quiet. It can serve as a ground cover, sleeping mat, tent liner, windbreak, dust barrier, or even an emergency curtain. In disaster zones, from hurricane shelters in Florida to earthquake camps in Turkey, canvas sheets have been used to divide living spaces, provide shade, and cover broken windows or doors. Privacy is another overlooked necessity in a crisis. When families are crammed into tight spaces, a simple canvas sheet can create a sense of separation and dignity. It's not just about comfort, it's about maintaining mental health in an already stressful situation. The unprinted part matters too. Printed or painted canvas often contains dyes or chemicals that can release fumes when wet or burned. Unprinted canvas is safer for indoor use and direct contact with skin. During the COVID-19 lockdowns, these drop cloths were sold out in many stores as people used them to create isolation zones, cover windows, and line rooms for insulation. In colder climates, canvas can help trap heat and block drafts when the power goes out. It's washable, reusable, and far more durable than plastic alternatives. And when the shelves are empty, the person with a stack of canvas drop cloths has options that others don't. Stock up now, roll them tight, store them flat, and keep them ready, because when the fight over tarps begins, the person with canvas has already won. 5. Tall rubber plant pots. The multi-use survival container. At first glance, tall rubber plant pots seem like nothing more than cheap gardening supply. But in a collapse scenario, these 2-3-gallon pots become some of the most versatile and sought-after items you can own. When the shelves are stripped bare of buckets, bins, and other containers, these unassuming pots step up as a survival essential. Why? Because they're lightweight, stackable, and nearly indestructible. Designed to hold soil and water for extended periods, they're perfect for storing and transporting supplies like water, grains, or even tools. Their tall, narrow shape makes them ideal for cramped spaces, and their durability means they won't crack or collapse under pressure. Unlike flimsy plastic bins, these pots are built to last. In emergencies, their drainage holes can be easily sealed with tape, cloth, or plastic, turning them into watertight containers in minutes. Need to collect rainwater? These pots can do it. Need a makeshift washing station? They've got you covered. They're also great for growing food indoors. Just add soil and seeds, and you've got a mini garden. During Venezuela's economic collapse, urban families used these pots to grow vegetables on balconies, trading their harvest for other essentials. But their uses don't stop there. They can double as stools in shelters, waste bins when sanitation systems fail, or even emergency cooking stations. And when bartering becomes the norm, having a few clean, durable containers can make you far more valuable than someone with cash but no way to carry supplies. The problem? These pots aren't stocked year-round. Once gardening season ends, they disappear from stores. And in a crisis, when people realize their value, they'll be gone in hours. Don't wait for that scramble. Buy a stack now, nest them for easy storage, and seal the holes in advance. They're cheap today, but in a collapse, they'll be worth their weight in gold. 6. Bulk plastic cutlery. The unsung hero of sanitation. When the grid goes down and water becomes scarce, Washing dishes quickly turns into a nightmare. Without running water or dishwashers, your sink becomes a breeding ground for bacteria. That's when bulk plastic cutlery, those cheap forks, knives and spoons you usually ignore, becomes a survival game changer. These aren't party decorations, they're practical tools for maintaining hygiene and sanity in a crisis. Imagine eating canned food in a shelter, on the road, or during a blackout. Reusable metal utensils might seem like a good idea, but without a way to clean them properly, they can spread illness faster than you think. Disposable plastic cutlery eliminates that risk. After Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico, FEMA field kitchens burned through thousands of plastic utensils daily. Reusable options weren't feasible, and the lack of clean cutlery became a major issue. Families who had stocked up on disposable utensils avoided the chaos, while others scrambled to find alternatives. Plastic cutlery also plays a psychological role. For children, having a clean fork or spoon can bring a sense of normalcy during chaotic times. For adults, it's a simple way to maintain order and reduce stress. And in shared living spaces, disposable utensils prevent the spread of germs, especially during viral outbreaks. But here's the catch. Once panic sets in, these items vanish from shelves. During the early COVID lockdowns, disposable cutlery was one of the first things to sell out in urban areas. People hoarded them to avoid washing dishes with limited water. Restaurants even reported thefts of utensil packs from takeout orders. Don't make the same mistake. Stock up on high-count boxes of plastic cutlery now. Seal them in waterproof bags and store them in your kitchen, car, or emergency kit. They're lightweight, stackable, and invaluable when clean water is hard to come by. In a collapse, the person with a clean spoon always has the upper hand. 7 metal storage cans. The indestructible survival essential. When disaster strikes, fragile items fail, but metal endures. That's why metal storage cans, specifically 5-liter paint cans with tight sealing lids, are one of the most underrated survival tools you can own. Originally designed to hold paint or chemicals, these cans are built to withstand pressure, temperature changes, and physical impact, making them indispensable in a collapse. Plastic containers might seem like a good alternative, but they have a fatal flaw. They warp, crack, and melt under extreme conditions. Metal cans, on the other hand, are virtually indestructible. They can store fuel, water, dry goods, or even act as makeshift cooking pots over an open flame, after thorough cleaning, of course. In crisis zones like Beirut during the 2021 fuel shortage, people repurposed old paint cans to store gasoline and kerosene. In Ukraine, families used them to store cooking oil and fire-starting materials during blackouts. Their tight-sealing lids keep out moisture, pests, and light, extending the shelf life of whatever's inside. They're also perfect for high-value barter items like coffee, sugar, or tobacco. But their uses don't stop there. In shelters, these cans can serve as tool bins, mini trash containers, or even emergency toilets when lined with a bag. Their opaque design keeps contents hidden, adding a layer of security. And because they're stackable, they're easy to store in small spaces. The problem? These cans aren't widely available. They're specialty items, and most hardware stores don't stock them in large quantities. When a crisis hits, people quickly realize their value, leading to fights over the last few on the shelf. Don't wait for that chaos. Buy a stack of unused paint cans now. Clean them thoroughly, label them, and store them with your emergency supplies. In a collapse, these cans won't just hold your essentials, they'll hold your survival strategy together. 8. Heavy-duty trash bags. The ultimate multi-use survival tool. When disaster strikes, heavy-duty trash bags become one of the most versatile and essential items you can have. These aren't your flimsy kitchen bags. We're talking about contractor-grade, thick plastic bags that can handle weight, resist tearing, and stand up to the element. In a collapse scenario, they're not just for garbage, they're a survival multi-tool. First, they're perfect for waste management. When sanitation systems fail, trash piles up fast, and the risk of disease skyrocket. A sturdy trash bag can help you contain waste, keeping your living space clean and reducing the spread of bacteria and pests. But their uses go far beyond that. Need a makeshift rain poncho? Cut a hole for your head and arms, and you've got instant waterproof protection. Need to collect rainwater? These bags can hold gallons of water when properly secured. They can also be used as ground covers, windbreaks, or even emergency sleeping bags when stuffed with leaves or clothing for insulation. In post-disaster zones, heavy-duty trash bags have been used to line broken windows, create temporary shelters, and even transport supplies. Their durability makes them ideal for carrying firewood, food, or other essentials without worrying about rips or leaks. And because they're lightweight and compact, you can store dozens without taking up much space. The problem? Most people don't think to stock up on them until it's too late. Once the shelves are empty, these bags become a hot commodity, with people fighting over the last few rolls. Don't wait for that moment. Buy a few boxes of contractor-grade trash bags now. Store them in your home, car, and emergency kit. When the collapse hits, these bags will be worth far more than their weight in gold. 9. Manual can openers. The overlooked lifesaver. In a world without electricity, your stockpile of canned goods is only as useful as your ability to open them. That's why a manual can opener is one of the most critical tools you can own in a collapse scenario. It's small, cheap, and often overlooked until you need it. Electric can openers are useless when the power goes out, and trying to open a can with a knife or other improvised tool is not only inefficient, but dangerous. A good manual can opener ensures you can access your food supply quickly and safely, no matter the circumstance. But here's the catch: not all manual can openers are created equal. Cheap models often break under pressure or struggle with larger cans. Invest in a high-quality, durable opener that can handle repeated use. Look for one with a comfortable grip and a sharp cutting wheel to make the process as smooth as possible. During Hurricane Katrina, many families found themselves with plenty of canned food but no way to open. Aid workers had to distribute manual can openers alongside food supplies, and even then, there weren't enough to go around. The same scenario played out during the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, when panic buying left store shelves empty, and people realized they'd forgotten this simple but essential tool. Don't make the same mistake. Stock up on a few manual can openers, and keep them in different locations. Your kitchen, your go bag, and your car. They're small, lightweight, and invaluable in a crisis. Because when the shelves are bare, and the power is out, the person with a working can opener is the one who eats. 10. Batteries. The lifeblood of modern survival. When the grid goes down, batteries become the lifeblood of your survival gear. Flashlights, radios, medical devices, and even some tools rely on them to function. Yet, they're one of the first things to disappear from store shelves in a crisis. Without them, even the best prepared survival kit can fall apart. The key is to stock up on a variety of sizes: AA, AAA, C, D, and 9 volt, because different devices require different types. Rechargeable batteries are a great option, especially if you have a solar charger, but don't overlook the value of disposable ones for immediate use. Alkaline batteries are affordable and have a decent shelf life, while lithium batteries last even longer and perform better in extreme temperatures. During the 2021 Texas freeze, millions of people were left without power for days. Those who had stocked up on batteries were able to keep their flashlights, radios, and other essential devices running. Those who hadn't were left in the dark. The same scenario played out during Hurricane Sandy, where batteries became a hot commodity, with stores selling out within hours of the storm's arrival. But batteries aren't just for flashlights. They power emergency radios, which are critical for staying informed during a disaster. They keep medical devices like insulin pumps and CPAP machines running, which can be a matter of life and death. And in some cases, they can even be used to barter for other essentials. Don't wait until the panic sets. Stock up on batteries now, and store them in a cool, dry place to extend their shelf life. Consider investing in a solar charger and rechargeable batteries for long-term use. Because when the lights go out, the person with a stash of batteries is the one who stays connected, informed, and prepared.